welcome to 42. We're missing Toby today, so you've only got Sally Ann and myself, and we're going to be
Oh,
discussing. I know, we are sad, aren't we? And we're going to discuss staff surveys. So I was just thinking, I just recently completed a staff survey as an FTC, and I always make a point to fill them in, and I know sometimes they can be a tick box exercise, but I genuinely think that if you don't fill them in, you can't really say anything as a follow up. But if you do fill them in, you can follow. You get right to comment. Um, but I found it's the first time where every comment I made was responded to by someone quite senior. So I don't think they can see that I put the comment, but I can see who responded to me. That blew me away. That was like, wow, that's pretty good going. Anyway, welcome to 42. We're going to talk about staff surveys. I don't know, Sally Ann, have you got anything to say about staff surveys? Are they just a tick in the box, or should people fill them in? Definitely leave a comment because somebody has to review them, or
well,
should be
okay.
reviewing
So
them.
I, I've been with the same company for a very long time, so I can only really talk about one format of survey. You know, it's supposed to be anonymous and blah blah blah, and but there's an element where the powers that be, or the senior leadership team, could probably work out who somebody is, because if they understand the dynamics of each team. So you have to be really careful about interesting things like don't mention or allude to the gender of your manager, for example.
Mm.
So there's little nuances like that you've got to be very careful about, and you've got to be very mindful the whole time you're doing it that even though it's supposed to be anonymous, it sometimes might not take a great amount for somebody to work out who it is. And also, there are some questions where, me, for instance, I actually don't care if they know it's me. Um, and other questions where I do care, because if I'm going to say something negative about line management, for instance, or the department as a whole, so you've got to you've got to navigate all of that when you're filling these things out. I think the original question is like, should you? Yes, is the answer to that, because for the same reason as you, it's like if you don't vote, then in the elections, then you really haven't, in my opinion. You
Yeah.
can't complain about anything because you didn't try and change anything. Um, and there's always that optimism that these things will be received, and anything that they get quite a lot of negative about, that they will try and address. And they always say they will. Our company, they'll have a big town hall, and when the surveys data has come out and been studied and put in a nice PowerPoint, they will discuss it, and they will talk about both the positives and the negatives. And when it comes to the negatives, they will say how they are going to address it. Having said that, nothing ever changes that I can see. Um, Nothing significant that I've ever been able to say, oh yeah, that's great, they've changed that, because obviously a lot of people in the survey said this. um, so yeah, to answer your question, I think that they are a tick boxing exercise. I think that there is a genuine desire to understand what your people want or need, depending on who the head of your department actually is. Some care and some don't. Um, and I think there is a genuine desire to try and address any severe negatives. But
Yeah. Apologies for the
That's a
video
desire,
quality there.
the action I'm not sure actually happens.
Sure. Yeah, Sally Ann, your video quality, I can hear you fine. It'd be interesting to look back at the recording to see, but your video quality is pretty poor on my end. I don't know what it looks like for you, whether
It's
clear
great to me.
mine and yours. No, it's just gone very fuzzy. I'll show you the recording afterwards. Yeah, so I think we're both aligned on that you should complete it. On the anonymity side of things, I did complete a job application, and the civil service is very hot on submitting an application, your CV, but you have to reword it so they can't, the person who's reviewing it can't tell your age, your gender, your background. It's a lot of effort actually, just to rethink, jobs, and you obviously remove dates, and it's just another extra level of thinking you have to do, and the same applies in work surveys. But I was very impressed by the response I got to our work survey, and then I had a follow-up question where they said, can you explain this a bit better? In what context are you asking this? And I thought, well, if I give them the context, I'm totally going to give away who I am, and like you, I'm not too worried if they know who I am, because I stand by what I say, anonymous or not anonymous. There's nothing I'm going to share with you that's going to put me in. That I wouldn't say.
Sorry, so did
if
you
I was
receive?
in a room for feedback?
Did you receive the feedback via the survey? Because obviously they wouldn't have emailed it to you, because they didn't know who you are. Oh, okay, that's pretty impressive. I like that.
Thought that.
But obviously not all tools are the same, are they? So
Yeah, so on the one, a lot of the things where I put a comment, I got a lot of responses. I agree, or glad to hear this, that kind of response. Sorry. Sorry. Runny nose. But on one particular one, they wanted a bit more context, and it said the response will go back with anonymously, but obviously linked to my ID. But anyway,
there goes my background.
yeah, it said their device is having trouble keeping up the recording. What should I do? It's still good. It still works. I'm just going to say you carry on. Nothing to do. Yeah, no, that was a nice, easy one to pick up, just a little short one. If you enjoyed watching this, please give us a thumbs up. Any questions, what you'd like us to cover, let us know. But over out from myself, Navida, and Sally Ann.
Sally Ann.